This is Tom Biernacki, and today I'm going over bunion surgery. So I'm gonna go over the 6 types of bunion surgery, and we're gonna show you how to get the fastest recovery time. Can you drive? What kind of boots should you wear? What kind of shoes? How do your dressing changes last? What's your day of surgery like? We're gonna go over all of this, and we're starting right now. First of all, this is an all surgery video. If you want the non-surgical treatment, I highly recommend you click on our non-surgical guide. I'm gonna go over the top 9 tips to fix your bunions without surgery. In this guide, sometimes you do need surgery. If the joint is dislocated, if you have arthritis, if other special things are going on, you do need surgery to fix your bunion. And if your pain's not going away with the top 9 list, you do need surgery. So we're gonna go over the absolute best tips to get you the fastest recovery. So even beyond the bunion, you could get sesamoiditis. So we have a guide right up here. Number 2, turf toe. Turf toe is the strain and the sprain of that ligament. So we have a guide up here. Number 3 is arthritis of the big toe joint. That can definitely cause it. So if you have arthritis, that's called hallux rigidus. That has a completely different treatment. And number 4, you want to fix your flat foot. You need to fix your flat foot to fix your bunion pain as well. So there's 6 major big toe joint procedures that we see roughly. There's more depending on how you classify them. But if you just have arthritis and not much of a bunion, you could shave that big toe joint. So if you have a spur on top of your big toe joint, just shaving it and smoothing it out, almost like sandpaper on a deck, that kind of smoothing, that's called a cheilectomy. So that gets rid of the spur on top. There's no screws, no plates. That's a faster healing bunion surgery, if it's even considered a bunion surgery at all, because you're not really fixing the dislocation. Number 2, this is called your metatarsal phalangeal joint. So if you're doing surgery on this part of the bone, that's called a distal metatarsal head bunionectomy. So those are called like Chevron bunionectomies, for example, like an Austin Akin type bunionectomy, and that's usually with 2 screws. So that's the one where you make a cut, shift the head, and put 2 screws in there. Another thing you can do is a joint replacement. So a joint replacement is basically you'll shave out the cartilage on the inside and replace it with a metallic or artificial or gel pad type joint. So there's a lot of different products on the market. Is that really a bunion procedure? It's more of an arthritis procedure because you probably should do another procedure to straighten the big toe joint as well. So that might not really be considered a bunion procedure, kind of like the cheilectomy. That might be more for arthritis as a result of the bunion. Number 4 is, this is one that I really like to do because the results are so effective. It's a permanent procedure. If your arthritis is really bad or if your bunion is severe, locking up the joint. So if what we do this for is, it's called the joint fusion. So basically, if your joint's dislocated like this or arthritic, it's basically putting it straight and putting a plate on top of it so that it stays straight for good. The reason you would do this is because the joint's already destroyed anyway, or you have such underlying factors like obesity, you're on your feet 16 hours a day, you can't afford to have future bunion surgeries, or you can't afford to not have it work. That's when you do this procedure. It's like a one and done type thing where 95% of the time you can predict that it's gonna fix your problem and you won't need more surgery. The downside is that it's gonna be stiffer. Another one is for severe bunions. If you're really, really dislocated, so if you're really dislocated, you can do number 5 right here and number 6 in this joint right here. So when you do it at the base of the metatarsal, that's called a proximal bunionectomy. When you do this joint right here, that's called a tarsal metatarsal joint bunionectomy. That's kind of like your Lapidus, your Lapiplasty, which are possible now. The downside with these are they're bigger surgeries. You have to be in a cast or a boot, and to safely get going, your recovery time is a lot longer than it would be for some of the earlier ones. So those first 4 I talked about, you could basically get people moving right away in a dressing very gently. Whereas once you get back towards the middle of the foot with the bigger corrective procedures, the healing time is a lot longer. And the problem for me is with some of the bigger ones there, You usually need it because the foot's really flattening out anyway. And the problem is it's really important to fix that flat foot. So how long is the recovery time for bunion procedures? For those first four, so the cheilectomy, the Chevron bunionectomy, the fusion, and the joint replacement, generally you can be in a nice big dressing with a surgical shoe. If stitches are used rather than glue or resorbable stitches, they come out usually at 2 to 3 weeks for most surgeons. And you're in a dressing pretty much for the first month, roughly, and a surgical shoe. At that point, you then go back into a regular shoe. You're not really up 100% until 3 to 6 months after the surgery. So that's a very long time. The first month you're still in a dressing. Months 2 to 3 you're still pretty sore. By about 3 to 6 for most people you can get back running and getting back to work fully. So it's a long time. Bunion surgeries are huge. All your body weight goes onto that big toe joint. And those last two, the more midfoot procedures, the Lapiplasty and the Lapidus, you're talking a cast for at least a few weeks, and then in a protective boot for up to 2 months for most people. So that's a long time. And usually you have other problems going on like ankle tightness, knee tightness, hamstring tightness, hip tightness that you want to talk to your podiatrist about. So how do you heal quicker? Number one is you want to be as young as possible. So the younger you are, the faster you will heal. But most young people don't need surgery. That's kind of the catch-22, you would say. So older people are usually who need surgery more, but they're the slowest healing. So factor that into your surgery plans. Number two is how much are you on your feet? If you need to be at a factory working, you might have to take like 3+ months off. Some people, I've had one magical patient. He was like ready in like a month. I couldn't believe it. He went back, he like worked construction. He didn't listen to me and his foot was great, but that is one out of many. Sometimes most people think they're gonna be back in a month and they don't plan on it and they're shocked to find out it's 3 to 4 months or more. And they're just not feeling great and they're doing physical therapy, their hamstring's tight, their foot's still flat. So be aware of that. If you're not in great shape, if you weigh a lot, if your muscle mass isn't great, if you're not flexible, if you don't really work out, if you don't want to wear good shoes, if you need huge demands on your feet, those are not good signs. If you have a surgery, the bigger surgeries, you're going to need one of these boots. So specifically, this is a tall walking boot. The first week after a Lapidus or a proximal osteotomy, you probably won't be able to walk. But then for probably about 6 weeks, you'll need one of these boots. That means no getting up in the middle of the night barefoot, nothing like that, because you can re-injure it and have to start from scratch. So I'm a big fan of a compression sock to keep swelling down, then a well-cushioned sock to keep the pressure off of it, and then the boot. Oh wait, that's not enough. I still want you to have an orthotic in there because that keeps as much pressure off the big toe as possible. And this keeps you moving comfortably with as little pain as possible. This is the best way that I've found that works for my patients. It's a lot better than just the surgical shoe for me. And then not only that, you want a knee scooter. So this helps you get to work if you have a sit-down job and around parking lots. Can you drive? Usually with your right foot, you cannot drive. And that's a tricky subject because there's no specific laws about how injured you can be to drive. What you want to do is you want to make sure you feel comfortable. You can't be on any drugs. Can you get a handicap parking pass? Yes, your podiatrist can write you for a handicap parking pass. Generally, it's not a permanent one. It could be like up to 3 to 6 months. Usually, you could do 6 months. Home care. Are you someone who has help? If you have help, you probably don't need home care. But if you live by yourself and you really need a surgery, you could get your podiatrist to set you up with some home care for help. So podiatrists can help with that. So here's how your surgical day goes. You usually have to visit with your podiatrist to get your preoperative paperwork done. You usually show up and the anesthesiologist sees you. They decide on the type of anesthesia for you. You usually get your foot numbed up and then you do the surgery. After the surgery, you're kind of sleepy. Your foot's numb the rest of the day, kind of like a dentist sending you in for a cavity. And then you're in a boot and a dressing or a surgical shoe. And you wear that for pretty much until your first appointment. So within about 3 to 7 days on average, you see your podiatrist, you get that dressing changed, you get x-rays, they tell you your bunion's looking great, and then you see how that goes. Over the next 2 to 3 weeks, your stitches then come out, you're still in a dressing and protected. If it's a bigger procedure and you have more of those risk factors, it's gonna be slower for you. If you're healthy and the ideal candidate, you might be right at that line. And then as like 2 months go by, you start getting back into shoes. At like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you start getting back into a shoe and you're starting to get back to 100%. Officially, here's officially how patients should think about their bunion surgery. At 6 weeks, so at 6 weeks, you're at 50% of the final product. At 12 weeks or 3 months, you're at about 75 of the final product. At 6 months, you're usually like 90 to 95% of the final product. And at 1 year, you're usually at 100% of the final product. So these are huge surgeries to recover from.